Let me tell you what I have noticed. I've noticed that when I go out, men don't approach me.
When ugly men shoot their shot at me, it really lowers my self-esteem.
Tell me why I get so mad when an ugly man approaches me.
I accidentally got railed by an 18-year-old the other day, but it wasn't my fault.
Why does a man stare at you but never...
Men aren't willing to risk their freedom by approaching. They'd rather stay single.
So am I like the only woman that no longer gets approached by men?
Obviously, as a woman would like the men to approach me, but nowadays it hasn't been happening. Feels like the roles have been switched.
I'm seeing men tell men everywhere, just focus on...
Men are telling men to better themselves. Trying to date today is pointless. Kindly subscribe to the channel, as it is our sole form of support. Thank you.
Okay, so last night I was talking to my friend and I was telling her about how I'm gonna trap a man because I'm almost 38. And I'm like, this is how I'm gonna do it, is I'm gonna have no standards whatsoever. And she took this long pause and she like looked off and then she looked back at me and she was like, Lindsay, you still had standards?
Every day I wake up and I'm like, I just don't want to be a strong, independent woman anymore. Then I remember, I just can't keep my fucking mouth shut.
So am I like the only woman that no longer gets approached by men? No, because I had to actually sit and think about this, and I had to ask myself, when is the last time a man came up to me and wanted to get to know me or exchange numbers? And it's been a long time. And honestly, I'm not gonna lie, it definitely has me questioning myself. Like, am I not as attractive as I thought I am? Am I looking old? Am I intimidating? Like, what is it? So now I'm starting to realize that since men don't come up to me, I have to be the one to go up to them. And that makes me super nervous because it's like, how do I know I'm not going to get rejected if you didn't come up to me in the first place and then I make the decision to go up to you? How do I know I won't face rejection? So can I get some tips and tricks, some advice on how to approach a man that I think is cute? Because I have no idea how to. Like, I'm scared and I feel like I can only approach men if I'm drunk, which is not often.
We tired of getting rejected by girls on our level or even below. We just go play our PlayStations and call it a day. We're used to getting attitudes or ignored, so we gave up that part of the game. I only got approached by men when I was in my 20s. Now that I'm in my 30s, I just get like glances and smiles while I'm out. But men online try to hit on me more, which I find very weird. I've noticed the older we get, the less it happens. It's all good. Youthful glow is gone. That's my assumption. I only get approached by old uncles. People my age just stare. It's really just about being careful. Men aren't necessarily afraid or intimidated. They just see more risk than reward. This is why some men hold back, choosing to be cautious instead of diving right in. If women started making the first move more often, it could change things for the better. It would show men that women are just as interested and willing to take initiative, even though some women might not like the idea. But those types of women are just attached to their egos. They'd rather whisper in their beds, "Where are all the men at?" instead of going outside to find one.
If you are pursuing women who love Jesus, they are not going to laugh in your face. They're not going to reject you in a way where they're like, okay, why are you asking me out? But I feel like that's the fear that men have, is like, and like, don't let me speak for men, but this is a theory, is the rejection. Because that's a big thing to carry. Like,
hi, y'all. I have a question. So, like, I know I'm not ugly. Like, I know, like, and that's just real. I know I'm a cute little piece of, I'm cute. But, like, when I tell you, nobody asks me on dates, nobody DMs me, and y'all probably be like, well, nobody you probably like. Like, no, girl. All across the board, it be mute, quiet in my messages. Nobody's ever like, I like you, I'm attracted to you, let me take you out. Nobody. And I'm starting to think, like, am I intimidating? Or are people like, do people actually think like, oh, she's too good for me, she got her life together? Because no shade, if y'all thinking that, are you fucking kidding me, y'all? I want hoes. I want a roster. And I don't have that.
It's crazy how she assumed men are intimidated by her just because no man asked her on dates. Maybe those men just aren't interested. Is it really that shocking to them when they don't get the attention they think they deserve? For so long, society has put women on a pedestal where they are constantly praised and validated, especially when they're young and attractive. So when the attention starts fading or men don't show interest, it's almost unthinkable to some women that the issue might not be the men, but them. It's easier to claim that men are intimidated instead of acknowledging that men are just focusing on themselves.
Okay, men, let's talk. I got more questions. If we've matched on a dating site and I see you in person, I'm gonna come up and talk to you. Is that cool? Blondes or redheads? Biggest turn off?
Tell me why I get so mad when an ugly man approaches me or tries to hit on me. Like, the audacity, like, stay in your lane. Stay in your lane.
These are the kinds of women who aim for men outside their dating pool because they believe they're more attractive than they really are. In reality, they're just average looking. As you can see, if you strip away the fake eyelashes and layers of makeup, you'd see their true selves. They walk around with this inflated sense of ego, acting like they're God's gift to men. What's even more ironic is that the high-caliber men they're chasing aren't interested in them at all. Do these women ever stop to consider that maybe they're not as stunning as they think? It's wild that they don't realize this. And honestly, if a woman is faking her identity with makeup and filters, she shouldn't be judging a man solely based on his looks. It just doesn't add up.
This man came up to me on the subway to ask for my phone number.
Well, it looks like there still are some guys approaching women.
He should have just asked for $1 at that point. He would have gained more from that conversation than that.
Oh dear. It doesn't sound like it went very well, does it?
He had the audacity to be like, wait, hold up. Do you have a boyfriend? Because I don't talk to girls in relationships.
Wait, that's a bad thing that he asked? How so?
I don't talk to men who aren't competitive, okay? If you can't fight, just say that.
Wow. And here I thought it just sounded like the guy was being respectful.
Stop trying to act like you're a good person. You're not a good person. You're approaching a woman alone on the subway. You're a terrible human being.
Wait, what?
Why not be like, what's your boyfriend's address? Let me kill him with my bare hands and then take you out for dinner. Romance. Learn it.
Well, doesn't that sound like the beginnings of a very healthy relationship?
Men don't know how to talk to women nowadays.
And a lot of women really don't seem to know what they want either. And they seem to have gotten their ideas of what romance actually is from a novel that they picked up at the grocery store.
This is why dudes don't want to date anymore. It's easier to be single. So glad I'm 55 and out of the dating pool. It's impossible to navigate this. My 22-year-old son is beyond frustrated. Every day I learn how lucky I am to have married an amazing woman. I feel for the men still out there searching. Ladies, if you keep up with this delusional mindset, men are just going to sit back and watch you destroy yourselves and future relationships. We can be happy without you. The only way I can think to describe this woman is unhinged. There's no way she wants a man to compete for her while she has a boyfriend. And this level of romance she's talking about is just cheating. But I have to commend her though. At least she showed her red flags early. What I think this woman wants is a joker, so she can be Harley Quinn. Absolutely crazy.
Why does this type of guy seem to ignore women? I'm gonna tell you why in this video. Let's get into it. Number one, they know their value. They value their time and attention, and they're not going to use it to inflate a woman's ego. They're goal-driven. They are too busy chasing purpose to be chasing women. This type of guy does not need to be in a relationship. Trust me, he's good being alone. So he's not desperate to fill up the space with a woman. He's calculated. He's strategic. And he probably knows the woman that he's interested in. A lot of guys want her too, and are probably giving her a whole lot of attention. And he ain't going to be like everybody else, which is going to make her wonder. This man does have a busy life. He has incredibly high standards for the women that he decides to pursue. So if he does decide to pursue you, he made a calculated decision to do so. Remember, just like she got options, he got options too. because he's confident and he's secure in himself. He doesn't need the validation of a woman's interests. He knows his value and he knows his worth.
Why are men under the impression that women do everything to try to seek their validation? I don't care if you don't like my nose piercing, or my cleft lip, or my hair, or my body.
Dude, I really don't know what it is, but whenever I make eye contact with men, I look at them and I'm like, ew. Like, I get disgusted. Like, why are you so ugly? Why are you looking at me? Why are you looking at me and then why are you so ugly? Or the other way around.
Women don't approach men because they do not want to be denied. That is what it is. Simple as that. Denial is a woman's worst nightmare. 30% of women have spoken for 100 of women and said, we don't want men to approach us. We are independent. Please don't approach us. Men are creepy. We choose the bear. I swear to God, women will cry a lot in 2030 and beyond. By that time, all men would have given up. Stay single, kings, because those looks will fade and age will creep up. Then she'll be on TikTok where the good men at. These women will post videos like this and wonder why men don't approach them. What exactly do they think men will think when they see something like that? It's crazy because these are the women that are ruining it for the women that actually want genuine relationships. It's like their goal is to push away men while complaining about why aren't men approaching them.
The most frustrating thing about men is the fact that they refuse to acknowledge when they are being flirted with. They'll go, you're so handsome. And they just go... They look so confused to the point where you're like, they obviously want nothing to do with me. That's okay. Won't do that again. And later you find out they liked you the whole time. So, what?
Red flags in girls, if she's over the age of like 25, but she's at a club multiple times a week, red flag. If she's gotten with your homies, red flag. If her Instagram page looks like she's in a new country every single week and you can tell it's definitely not for work, red flag. If you've been in a relationship with her for a long time and she refuses to post you online and kind of acts single, red flag. If they still keep in contact with guys that they've been intimate with or guys that they have dated, that is a red flag. If she's on a private jet every weekend to a new city or country, yeah, red flag. Like and comment for part 2. Bye.
Now, this is all true, but what's sad is seeing women in the comments calling this woman a pick-me just for stating facts. It shows you that some women hate it when other women hold them accountable for their actions. Instead of reflecting on the truth being spoken, they resort to name-calling and shaming anyone who challenges them. It's like there's an unspoken rule that women are supposed to stick together, no matter what, even if it means ignoring reality or excusing toxic behaviors. It's sad.
Something that was taught to me since young is to never allow myself to fall into a victim mentality. And I think that that's the problem with a lot of women these days, is that you let yourselves fall into this victim mentality, and then that's where the no accountability comes from. That's where blaming men comes from. Because rather than looking inwards and seeing, okay, what did I learn from this? What can I do? What did I do wrong in the situation? You're choosing to be a victim. And that doesn't help anyone, especially not you.
Well, they blame men because they would hate to point their fingers on themselves. It's just easier for them to blame somebody else instead of looking at themselves and the things they can improve on. The thing is, if they stop playing the victim, they'll have to admit that they're wrong, and to them, it's just not fair. That's just the logic of these women.
What does it mean when a man is not pursuing you? You know why he's not pursuing you? Because you're not that girl. He's just not into you. Another reason why a man is not pursuing you, he got somebody. He probably met you and thought you was an easy lay, and he's just not into you. Maybe he slept with you already, or he already did, or he didn't sleep with you, but it's not worth the risk. He is in a relationship, so you're not worth the risk. You're not worth losing his family. That's why he's not pursuing you. You're not that girl.
I actually get guys coming up to me quite often on the street, but I've told my girlfriends that there's kind of like a rule. So it's always the weird ones who come up and talk to you. Most of the time I give them my number, but I know from right off the bat that I'm not interested. And then I just let things kind of fizzle out. At some point they get the memo. I personally feel bad rejecting people on the spot.
Date the boring guy. If you tend to date guys who are emotionally unavailable and overlook guys who are steady and secure, this is for you. Your nervous system is used to intense chemistry that only leads to inconsistency, high anxiety, and ultimately distance. But here's what you might be missing. The boring guy isn't actually boring. He's healthy, consistent, secure in himself, and safe. So the next time you think a guy is boring, consider that you're actually feeling a sense of safety that your brain wants to interpret as boring because it's not the chaos that you're used to. Now, if you're wondering, but what if he actually is boring? How do you tell the difference? Meet me in the caption.
Yeah, well actually, I would recommend these women to avoid dating the so-called boring guy because they might end up ruining him. Women who are used to chasing emotionally unavailable men often carry a lot of unresolved trauma and toxicity with them. They've been in a cycle of chaos where drama and instability are normal, and when they meet a genuine guy who's calm, steady, and emotionally available, they don't know how to handle it. Instead of appreciating the stability, they might find it boring or even suffocating, and they could end up projecting their past baggage onto him. That man should find a woman who operates on the same level as him, not a woman who's used to dating emotionally unavailable men.
I hate when guys approach me. Why? Because I don't want to be bothered? Like, clearly, I'm doing something. Go away. Okay, so I guess you meet guys online then? Ew, no, what kind of creep stalks my IG and DMs me? Oh, okay, so you approach the guys then. What? Why would I ever date a guy who didn't have the confidence to approach me? But you just said you hate when guys approach you. Yeah, only when I'm clearly doing something. Plus, those guys are always super awkward anyway. How is a guy supposed to know when you're clearly doing something? And yeah, of course he's going to be a little bit awkward. He's starting a conversation out of thin air with a girl who may or may not be attracted to him and may or may not be busy. I mean, just approach me at a bar or a club. That's when I tend to meet guys. You mean when you're drunk and impulsive? Yeah. How do those relationships tend to go?
Obviously, as a woman, would like the men to approach me. But nowadays, it hasn't been happening. Feels like the roles have been switched. Men are expecting women to approach them and be the first one to make the move. I don't know what happened, to be honest, but I feel like it's the generation.
Does it kind of upset you how it is these days?
Yes, it upsets me very much. It makes dating very, very hard.
You would wish that guys would approach more.
I mean, the right guy. Obviously.
It's not that men want women to approach, they just don't want to deal with women anymore. If you're upset, look to your sisters. Equality's a bitch. That's not the only reason. We are just fed up and don't want the hassle. In fact, she stated that it has to be the right guy. Because something as simple as approaching a man is all he needs to know you have interest. Some women have no idea how to respectfully reject someone. Women are dogging men for being polite and a gentleman. Start being submissive and respectful, and the man will come to you again. Well, this woman just contradicted herself. She complains that men don't approach her, but then wishes the right guy would come along and make the move. It really makes you wonder, what exactly is the right guy? Is it the guy who's 6 feet tall, earns a 6-figure salary, and looks like a model? Because if that's the standard, it's no surprise that the majority of men aren't approaching. Those kinds of expectations eliminate a huge portion of potential me. What's even more ironic is that a lot of these women might be turning down genuinely good guys simply because they don't fit some superficial criteria. The right guy might be the one who doesn't have the flashiest job or isn't 6'2", but they overlook those kind of men.
What do you think the issue is with dating right now?
Social media, 100%.
What about it?
We have so many role models that are not doing the right thing right now. So, for example, one of them would be Sexy Red, Cardi B. So we have role models that we look up to the wrong people, I would say, and we forget how feminine and how we were brought up to this world to be wives, to cook, to clean, and to be submissive to men. So I would blame the feminists as well, honestly, because we forget that men are here to work and to take care of us. So we're playing the man role, and I don't think that's the right thing to do right now. We forget
A man should be a man, and a woman should be a woman.
That's what men are for, to take care of us.
Okay, so we provide and protect.
Exactly.
Monetarily wise too?
Yes, of course.
What do women bring then?
We don't bring shit. We just give birth. That's it.
That's how you look at it?
Yeah, of course. If you really analyze the situation, that's all we're good for, to give birth. I mean, you can cook for yourself, you can clean for yourself, you can do everything for yourself.
Well, she makes sense. Technically, a man can do everything for himself, except for giving birth. And that's where a woman comes in. A lot of these feminist women hate to accept that reality because they're trying to prove something. It doesn't make a woman less because of that. It's just their biology, and they should just embrace it.
The reason why guys won't approach you is because they're afraid that you're going to ignore them or reject them. Guys, they are very shy, and if they're ugly, then they know that they're ugly. So they're going to be afraid to talk to a woman that looks like me, or like a woman that's just like pretty, you know? So yeah, if a guy comes up to you, it doesn't matter how he looks, just have a conversation with him. See if he's actually being genuine with you, if he's smiling, if he's being friendly, if he's all like, hey mamacita, you know, like, but like, if they're like really nice with you and you're able to get along with them, then boom, you just made yourself a potential partner!
In some cases, it doesn't matter how respectful or nice a man is when he approaches a woman. Some women will still respond with rudeness or disrespect. It's like there's an automatic assumption that every man who approaches is beneath them or not worth their time. This attitude can be incredibly discouraging for men who are simply trying to strike a conversation. For some women, the act of being approached is taken as an opportunity to belittle or act superior, as if rejecting a man gives them some kind of power boost. This level of disrespect has made it harder for men to approach women without fear of being humiliated or ridiculed in public. Men are pulling back from even trying, knowing they could be met with not just rejection, but outright hostility.
Why don't guys want relationships anymore?
Because why invest in something that's going to hurt? You see, I don't think this is a gender bias thing. I think in general, less and less people are interested in relationships because why do you need them? You have the chance to hook up with somebody with a swipe on an app. Fill that little void of missing affection and then go back to your life with no strings attached. I know guys will say that every girl's the same and no girl wants a nice guy. And girls will say that no guy wants a relationship. All they want to do is hook up. And I think the common thing here is that everyone's saying how they feel instead of living the life and actually feeling it. We go hunting on our phones for somebody to love, but we don't actually want to be loved. We'd rather just have a story to tell. So the issue isn't that men don't want relationships, but yet the majority is just not ready and they rather just be stuck people watching.
That's because commitment is a scary thing, and many of these guys who don't want to date anymore have dated, and since then, they've been left broken and damaged as a result. They've experienced betrayal, disappointment, or emotional pain that has made them wary of opening up again. These past hurts can make them hesitant to trust or invest in someone new, fearing that they'll end up hurt once more. As a result, they put up walls to protect themselves, preferring to stay single rather than risk going through the same heartache again. For them, it's easier to avoid relationships altogether than to take a chance and potentially get hurt. This self-protection isn't about bitterness, it's about self-preservation, and trying to heal from the damage that previous experiences have caused.
I feel like the men here don't even really initiate. Y'all be letting the women come to y'all because y'all know it's so many of us. That's also why you guys feel like you're the prize. Because there's so many of us, y'all just feel like y'all don't have to do anything. Like you're too cocky. Like,
let me ask you this. What makes a prize a prize? A prize?
The only thing I need men for is reproduction and a double income. That's it. Nothing else.
So I saw the study that almost half of men aged 18 to 25 have never approached a woman in person. And let me tell you, that was literally the most disheartening statistic as someone who's in that age group and who just deleted all her dating apps because she wants to meet someone in real life. I really do not want to hear any more shit about a male loneliness epidemic when half of men my age aren't even attempting to talk to a woman in real life. I completely understand the fear of rejection and everything. It's hard out here to just go up and talk to someone you don't even know, but I feel like our dependence on online stuff, dating apps, Instagram, whatever, has kind of made it so that no one talks to anyone anymore in real life. Because why risk rejection in person when the most you could do is I don't know, slide into their Instagram DMs, and then if they say no, that's it. You don't have to see them again, you know? You don't have to face that rejection in real life. Also, though, that people are gonna say, it's 2023, why doesn't the woman just approach a man? That is completely fine. I have done that before. I have been the one in my past 2 relationships to, pursue, I guess, the man first. But sometimes a girl just wants to be asked out, you know? If you're looking cute, you want someone to be like, hey, I think you're really pretty. Can I get your number or something? So, I don't know. I guess this is a message for guys. If you're watching this, don't feel super afraid to ask a woman out or say something. It doesn't have to be anything big. You just say, I think you're really pretty. Can I have your number? If she says no, respectfully move on. The fear of rejection that people have is really deterring them from ever saying anything to anybody now, especially because it's so easy to be like, oh, I could just look them up on Instagram later and say something or like their story, which doesn't mean anything. So yeah, I guess this is your sign to talk to somebody today. If you think they're cute, just say something.
Again, it's not a fear of rejection. Some men just really decided to back away because of what women have been consistently saying. Things like, men leave women alone, stop approaching women in public, we don't want to be approached, etc. I'm sure there's some men out there who still wishes to approach women and some women who wishes men would approach them. Right now it's just a mystery, because how would men know when to make a move? This has led to a situation where everyone is more hesitant. Men who would have once confidently made a move are now holding back, while some women might be waiting, wondering why men aren't approaching them anymore. The balance has been thrown off, and it's created a kind of standstill, where no one knows what's appropriate or welcomed anymore. It's a confusing landscape where the traditional rules of dating and approaching are being rewritten, but no one has a clear guide on how to navigate it. What a shame.
Some of my guy friends gave me permission to make a Hinge account for him.
And why is that?
Because I was telling him how easy dating is with dating apps, and he was telling me that it's incredibly difficult. And I was like, Pete, you must be doing something wrong. And he gave me permission to create an account for him and just run the account.
And how is it going so far, being a guy on a dating app?
I've been a virtual boy for 3 days, and I've never felt this bad about myself. I feel like a freaking loser trying to get these girls to like me, and I'm starting to hate women.
Oh dear, it doesn't sound like it's going very well at all, but let's hear what's going on.
Pete's about a 6, but I'm so desperate I'm liking the 2s and the 3s, and even they won't like me back, Pete, which is a 6.
Gee, I wonder what could be going on here.
So what level of delusion has entered women's heads? Like, what is going on? It is so difficult dating as a boy. I hate it. I'm on day 3 of being a boy, and I hate women, and I'm more depressed than ever.
That is truly unfortunate, and I am genuinely sorry to hear that. But in my opinion, this is just a reflection of the times that we are currently living in, which so many people, in this case, a great many women, are very heavily influenced every single day by what they see on social media, that they are absolutely convinced that they all should be going for the same group of men, the ones that are considered to be 10s by most of society. And unfortunately, they are missing out on a lot of great opportunities, because just because a guy doesn't look like a 10 doesn't mean that he might not be an actual 10 in regards to what type of person he is and his personality.
Online dating is the worst. I gave up years ago. My soulmate will have to find me in my living room. They base their relationships off of very superficial things, then wonder why they're unhappy down the line. It's all very sad. It's so worthless for us average to below average guys. No matter what I do, women never respond. That's why I've just gave up and will just stay single. Too much effort and almost nothing in return. This woman has only been on the dating apps for 3 days, and she's already experiencing what men go through on a daily basis. Meanwhile, we have men who've been on these dating apps for months, trying to get a date, and still coming up empty-handed. In some rare cases, they might manage to go on 3 dates after 6 months of swiping left and right, dealing with rejection after rejection. This is what a man's world looks like on a dating app. Constant effort, often with little to show for it. Yet some of these women have the audacity to claim that men have it easier when it comes to dating. What a joke. Men are often ignored or overlooked, struggling to even get a conversation started, let alone set up a date. They have to send countless messages, make the first move nearly every time, and hope for a response that might never come. And when they do get a date, it's not a guarantee that things will go anywhere. For many men, online dating feels like a never-ending uphill battle, with frustration building as time goes on.
Actually, less men are going after women because men are more in their feminine energy. There's been an attack on masculinity for years now. Pursuing with intent will never be a waste of time and energy. Masculine energy men pursue what is of value to them.
Welcome back to another episode of How I've Pissed Off Men. Like part 9, I think. Step 1. Exist. That should do it. Come back for more helpful tips.
I will not date a man who is solely an Uber driver, does Uber Eats, or does DoorDash as his primary source of income.
I know men are actually approaching women in society today when it comes to relationships or dating. And this is going to be a tough pill to swallow, but it's because of how the women interact with men when men try to respectfully approach you and get to know you. These are the types of responses I get from other men in their interactions with women. The number one thing I hear from them is fear of rejection. No surprise there. No one likes to get metaphorically slapped in the face when you're trying to meet a beautiful woman and you're just trying to have a general conversation to see if they want to connect with you. Men think that they're not worthy enough. That because their life seems normal, the women are just disinterested in them. And this is always a good one. We come off looking like a creep just because we want to have a normal conversation. I keep hearing rejection, rejection, rejection. More or less, we just become a bother. And then this one is my favorite of all. Men not feeling like they can live up to the standards of what this individual wants the man to have. I'm not 6 foot. I don't make 6 figures. I don't do this, this, and this. I don't have this IQ. I don't have this kind of job. I don't speak this way. I don't look this way. I don't have the jawline. It's unending because society has conditioned women to foster this idea, this environment that leads to all of the singleness and the sole reason why men do not want to be in a relationship today. And let me finish. This isn't just 1 or 2 men. These are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of men stating the same things. How do we fix this?
Not gonna lie, at some point, I don't know when, but I just stopped caring about dating and marriage. I'm fine on my own. I'd love to be a relationship. But after all the rejection, my confidence is low. I automatically assume they wouldn't be interested in me, so I don't try. Yeah, it's the checklist that does it for me. If I haven't got a good job, I don't stand a chance. It's the universal cycle. Humanity will be resets, because the new generation is doom. Yeah, the checklist a man has to meet to get a woman today is just crazy, and what they're looking for is mostly based on superficial things. Now, men are judged based on things like looks, height, income, status, and even the type of car they drive. The qualities that really matter, like loyalty, kindness, and emotional support, seem to be overlooked in favor of material success and a polished social image. Men are expected to meet unrealistic standards, while the focus on deeper, long-term compatibility is often ignored. On top of that, social media creates this illusion that there are endless options out there, making it even harder for men to measure up to constantly shifting standards. Women swipe left and right based on a photo or a few details, ignoring the fact that many great men might not fit into these narrow boxes. There's no hope out there.
After another man wasted my time during a talking stage, I honestly don't know if I want to do it anymore. I don't want to do it anymore. I give up. I'm not doing another talking stage. I am done dating. That's why I don't be telling my mom or my friends anymore about any of these little situations, because it's like I could go on a couple dates and then they could ask me about it the next week and I'll be like, who? Oh yeah, we stopped talking already. Like, no, that was a doozy. A doozy. It's really not easy out here because you will go on a date with a guy and maybe it'll go great. Maybe the second date will go great. But then by the third date, he'll either say something or stop trying to take you out, give you sketchy vibes. I am good on all that. Thank you very much. Next. I literally have a picture of exactly what I want, the exact kind of man I want. It has nothing to do with what he looks like. I could literally transfer, like Build-A-Bear, the little qualities that I want in a man and put it in literally anyone, and I would probably fall in love with him. Why we just have to keep trying. I mean, literally by like the 500th guy, and I will be waiting until that. Otherwise, I will be alone, happily alone.
This is actually very understandable because it is happening to men as well. The people who actually wants to date are running into the people that aren't looking for something serious. It honestly is just a mismatch. That's creating disappointments and discouragements.
Your bitch know I've been a man. 21. Playing with the rock like I'm Jigga Man. Gotta look a nigga in the eyes when you kill a man. In my loud, every wow, scrap.
All I fucking want in my life is to be able to dress the way that I've always wanted, but I can't. And the reason I can't is because I'm fat. And I know people are like, fat girls can wear whatever. I'm the type of fat where it looks fucking disgusting. Okay? Under these clothes, I can hide it. It looks fine. Oh yeah, you might be chunky, but your body's, it's a nice shape. You got no, bitch. I don't have a nice shape. I can hide it very well. And it's fucking disgusting the way that I look. And I hate it. And, other bitches who look like me, I'm like, oh, you look so great. Why do I look so fucking nasty? I am disgusting. And I fucking hate my body. Okay? And all I want, I'm clothes shopping and I'm like, oh, that's so cute. And in my head, I'm like, should I buy it? I might be able to wear it someday. You stupid bitch. You stupid fucking bitch. My biggest insecurity is my tatas. I fucking hate those bitches. Boob job? Anybody? Who wants to pay? Please help.
Well, madam, it seems like you've identified your problem. If you want to be more appealing, then self-improvement is a great trait to pick up. Just hating on your body won't do you any good. If you want better, then you simply gonna have to put in the work.
I hate when I think a man's good looking and then I look at him and then he doesn't approach me. Like, did you not see me just look right at you? Like, that was your sign. Like, that was me shooting my shot. Like, I looked right at you. Like, I looked away pretty quickly. Like, it was kind of one of these, ooh, you know? But, like, that was your sign.
Mondays are kind of like men. They always come too soon.
If you are a traditional woman who's got no, pictures on Instagram, who isn't going out all day, every day, who isn't sleeping around and isn't getting lots of surgery and not putting on loads of makeup, and you're simple, just a traditional woman, there's no reward in that. You will never find a date. You'll never find a man that says, here, let me take you out. Here, let me do this. Whereas if you are the most promiscuous, provocative, dangerous woman, your DMs are endless and you are booked every single day of the week and you get to choose which country you want to fly out to. So humans are going to look at where's the most reward and they're going to lean towards whatever's most rewarding and profitable, unfortunately.
Yeah, so this is incorrect. There are actually men out there who are looking for traditional women to be with and have pure intentions of building a family. These men genuinely value commitment, loyalty, and the idea of settling down. They're not interested in playing games or casual flings. They want a real, lasting connection. The men who entertain promiscuous women are often the players who are just trying to smash, especially in this generation where dating often feels like a losing game, filled with deception and superficial encounters. A man would be incredibly happy to find a traditional woman by his side. These men see a traditional woman as a partner who shares their values and vision for the future. They want a meaningful connection that goes beyond physical attraction, aiming to build a life and a family together.